Hello Aquarius, Elsie here to do your reading for the week ahead. Aquarius, how are you, my little smarty pantses? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. I've got a short stack of oracles that we're going to be using. I'm going to throw those down for the week ahead energy. Find out what's coming up in the week ahead for you. Look, next week on Saturday is when we're having that partial solar eclipse in Aries. So again, lots of things as we're in the midst of flux and change here. We're in the eclipse sandwich here, waiting for things to finish the changing. The new beginnings are around the corner, right? With this partial solar eclipse happening. All right. Let's find out what's going on for you. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, Aquarius? I hope you've had a good week. Let's find out what's going on for you in the week ahead. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. Right, we've got a leg up. So I feel like in the week ahead here that help is on the way. I just heard, I don't know who sings it, Triumph maybe? I don't know. Hang on, help is on the way. I'll be there as fast as I can. Those are the lyrics. So it feels like a leg up is coming. So you're going to have relief in some respect with something. It feels like maybe a bill that you thought was due was paid last month and you didn't realize you overpaid it last month. So now you don't have to pay it this month. It feels like a leg up, like some sort of relief. I feel that you actually took. It feels like, because polar bears are, bears for sure, but polar bears, they are the leaders, right? They in the deep snow, they'll make a path, and so the smaller animals can follow behind them. I feel so you've taken a leap on something or a jump on something, and so now you're going to have a little bit of relief now because you got the hard work done ahead of time, that you're going to be able to have some sort of a relief. So a bit of a leg up here. We've got clean it up. And it tells me that it's going to give you time to be able to take a rest from the arduous work of cleaning up. It feels like maybe you thought that you were behind, but maybe you thought you were behind, but because when you look back, like no one else was behind you, but it was because you were so far ahead, is what it feels like here. All right. Let's find out what else is going on for you, Aquarius. Aquarius, after we finish putting down the oracles, we'll then throw some tarot at it so we can get some details for the week ahead. Tell me about Aquarius. All right. We've got spontaneity. Well, that doesn't sound like you at all. Spontaneity. Maybe some of you are spontaneous. Maybe you got some crazy fire in the rising or the moon. So we've got you move beyond the constraints of the mind. Oh, maybe that is you. And freely, lovingly embrace new situations. Look, you're the one that likes to let the freak flag fly. Right? You're not like anybody else. I say that with the most utmost love and compassion, that you stand out among people because you are not the same as everyone else. If you are an Aquarius sun, you have the most rare placement, and whether it comes up in the moon rising or Venus or Jupiter for you, it says here that you are ready to now. Spontaneity says that you're ready to move beyond your constraints. And I feel like they're constraints that you put on yourself, because it says constraints of the mind. That's an Aquarius if I ever heard it. And so it's time to freely and lovingly embrace new situations. I feel like you thought that you were behind, but you're actually ahead of the game. And that makes me feel like maybe it was something that maybe you thought that the relationship wasn't for you, or the job was never coming, or that you were never going to be able to grow your business in that direction. And it feels like you were in a place by yourself, not only because you're individual, but I think that you thought you were behind, but you're actually ahead of everyone. You're on the cutting edge of something here. We've got ownership. It says you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them as lessons. I love that. So it's really about making logic of it, which is your energy, right? Being very logical, having ownership with, maybe I could have done that better, but it is what it is. And next time, now I know the lesson, right? Now I know the lesson, and I'm never going to do that thing again. All right, I pulled out some decks that I haven't used for a while here. This one and this one here is the fairies, I think it's called. But we're getting good energy from that this week. Let's find out what this fairy deck has for you, Aquarius. New beginnings. You know what? That's been coming out a lot today as I've been reading. New beginnings. It says, this fairy godmother heralds the joyous news of a new baby, or the birth of a cherished idea. Protect and nurture your ideas as you would a baby. So whatever's coming for you, whatever the new beginning entails, it could be a new job, a new car, a new house, a new relationship. It could be a baby is on the way in the family. Maybe you're pregnant as you're watching this. But it's like there is a new beginning. A spontaneous new beginning is about to arrive here. And it feels like this spontaneous new beginning is going to offer you a leg up. Maybe it's spiritually. Maybe you're meeting with a spiritual advisor. It feels like whatever it is, it's going to give you some sort of clarity, or that whatever happened to you back there, the tragedies that maybe you've gone through, were not necessarily for anything else other than for you to learn lessons to get to where you are right now. We've got life energy. It says, the happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to be healed. So I feel that that's really taking ownership here, cleaning it up. You're cleaning up your vibration and taking ownership of things that maybe you could have done better in the past, but you're coming to terms with those things. And now you're in this life energy. You're reminded to shine your light and reveal anything in the shadows. So don't hide anything. Because, it's like some people are like, well, yeah, I know this thing about you, and maybe I'll just tell some people. And maybe you'll just say, I don't really care because I already told the people that matter. So I feel like you're not supposed to leave anything in the shadows. Just be really honest, and that's how you will attract your authentic tribe. Tell me more. I like it. We've got Awakening. Strength came out too, and I don't like to give back blessings. I usually like to take one of these cards, but I'll take two. We've got Expansion. There's something that is, a new beginning is here for you here, which makes sense because we do have this partial eclipse, solar eclipse that's coming up on next Saturday. So pursue bigger and greater endeavors. You're about to expand your life here, and we've got Awakening. It's exactly what's going on here. So it says a realization, shift, or a discovery. So you're coming to a place of determination, perseverance, and self-discovery. It feels like you are, there's a spontaneous new beginning coming here, but it's because now you're seeing things that you didn't see before. It's like when we go through an awakening, we finally wake up, and when we look around, we realize what carnage we caused. And we did it because we really didn't realize what we were doing. We were sort of asleep at that moment. So I feel like you are taking ownership of those things and cleaning those other things up. And it feels like there's some really good energy coming up in the future for you. Let's find out what else is going on for Aquarius. Let's hit it with some tarot, get some details out of it for the week ahead. Aquarius, I do have private reads that are open. If you're interested in looking at my pricing, please look at the pinned comment below this video. Doesn't cost anything to peruse. All right, let's find out what's going on for you, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. We've got the Seven of Cups. We've got the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, it feels like the Six of Pentacles and Seven of Cups is telling me I was kind of confused about who I was there for a moment. I was trying to fit in with other people. I wanted them all to like me. I wanted people to like me. So I wanted to be able to give people reciprocal energy and say, yeah, I'm on your team. But I feel like it felt confusing for you. Not being yourself and not sticking out from the crowd really didn't help you. It hindered you here. At the end of that, I like it. So I do see the Six of Pentacles as reciprocal energy, but understand it's not usually for me as a reader. I don't ever see the back and forth in this unless other cards come up around it that indicate differently. What I see is that there's a lot of people with hands out, that you were giving a lot of handouts, and that you were the person with all the abundance, giving the handouts to a lot of other people. And so it feels like it was a confusion of, but what if I stop giving? Then what happens? And so I feel like what happens is the people who were only there for the abundance or for you to give them things, whether you were giving them energy or help or money or whatever it was, I feel those people drop off. And I feel like instead of going back and saying to them, well, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you return my I feel like you just shut the door. You're like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. And I don't care if you didn't return the text. I don't care if you didn't do the thing I wanted you to do. Now I've got people around me who are going to give me a leg up. I've got people around me that the universe sent for me. Card number 34 is a 7. And for me, 7s are all about heaven. And card number 21 is a 3. And 3s for me are about your community. Being on the right path, your community. This is all earth energy, so it reminds me of the 3 of Pentacles. So your community, your social group, your network of people. It feels like you close the door on being this person who's always there for everyone else when no one is there for you. The confusion is, if I'm there for everyone else, why aren't they here for me? It feels like I have so many options that I see now that I didn't see before. So the World card tells me you're really taking a shift out of an old chapter. You're closing a door on the way you used to be. And I think you were a very overgiving person, and it's time for you to stop overgiving to people who are not giving back. I'm not meaning to say that you always have to have someone giving back, but if you have more people that you're giving to that are not giving back than people who are, then that becomes a problem. You start becoming drained, right? We do have the 5 of Cups. Then we have these two here. We have the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. So it does feel like you're off to bigger and better things, I'm going to say. With the 7 of Wands, this particular 7 of Wands tells me that you've built boundaries here, but you are, she's holding the Ace of Wands, but she's used the other wands to build herself a small bridge that goes to the other side of the stream. She wants to see what's on the other side. So I feel like you build some boundaries with the people in the 6 of Pentacles, people who are just hanging out with you in order to be attached to your name, or in order to gain some sort of notoriety or good energy. Maybe they're hoping, it's like when people get stuck to like being fanatic about a ball team that wins. It's like they celebrate it as though it's their own. And it's sort of that sort of energy. It's like people like to hook themselves up to you because you are a person who's successful. Therefore, they can get the secondhand energy of, oh, Aquarius was, somebody that I was rooting for and they had success. So now I feel like I've had success. So I feel like it's those people that you're kind of allowing to drop behind the boundary here. The 7 of Wands energy. We have the 5 of Cups. Look, the fact of the matter is that when we put up the boundaries or we decide we're going to close doors, there are going to be some people who we thought were really on our side and they just were not. In fact, that the 5 of Cups tells me that there is some regret and some sadness that when I close the door, I am going to have to just close the door because there are people who just can't abide by my most simple boundary. And so the 8 of Swords is here with the 10 of Swords. I feel like you're releasing yourself from blame. I feel like you blame yourself that maybe you didn't do hard enough, maybe you didn't work hard enough, maybe you didn't say the right things, or maybe you didn't do the right things. I feel like you have a little bit of regret that I've put up these boundaries because now these people feel like I'm defensive and they can't come back. Well, boundaries are just promises you keep to yourself. So if people in your life have problems with you keeping promises to yourself, then they're really not your people. So the 10 of Swords tells me that you're releasing it. It's painful, but you're releasing it and you're letting it go. You're coming to the realization who's really on your team and who's really not on your team. The 8 of Swords tells me you're going to stop with the illusions. You're going to stop with the overthinking. I don't think you'll ever truly stop. Come on, you're an Aquarius. You're always going to overthink things. But the 8 of Swords is telling me that it's time for me to stop looking at myself as though my hands are tied, that I really can't do anything. A lot of people will say, well, I can't do anything. It's those people who are taking advantage of me. Well, if you just tighten up those boundaries and maybe close a few doors, then, people wouldn't take advantage of you. But some people just like to go through life blaming it on others. So I feel like you're not one of those people. I feel like I'm reading for somebody who's now looking at the lessons and acknowledging your misdeeds, whether you want to call them misdeeds or not. Maybe they were just things that you weren't aware of. Maybe you weren't as aware as you are now, because it shows me here that you've had some sort of spontaneous awakening. And the new beginning has brought you to a place of ownership. And so when you have that, there's nothing else that's left to do except close the door on the ones who are not willing to own their own crap, because they're always going to blame it on you. Tell me about the 6 of Pentacles, please. Got the Wheel of Fortune. Look, you are going to slide right on into a brand new soul tribe. It feels like this 6 of Pentacles is you are going to, the Wheel of Fortune is telling me that you're going to roll right into some sort of new reciprocal energy with a new group who actually is going to give back to you like you give to them. Sorry, I just dropped a whole pile of cards here. So the Wheel of Fortune tells me it's destiny. Destiny is at work here. So it really is destiny that you build these boundaries and that you close doors to places that really you had no place going to. It really wasn't your path, but maybe you were just following along because you wanted to belong. So the Wheel of Fortune here is saying that destiny is here and change is afoot. And so what's changing is the way you give your reciprocal energy. You're now waiting for people to give it to you before you give it to them. We've got the Seven of Swords, and you're learning not to trust everybody. Be a little bit cynical. We've got the Sun here. So I feel like the Seven of Swords and the Sun here is telling me, now I realize who's with me, who's against me, who's on the bus and who's under it. I feel like the Sun is a breakthrough. It's a realization. When I see the World card and the Sun together, touching each other here, it's like I've had some sort of a deep revelation about closing the chapter to the past. I don't really care who's coming with me and who's not. I'm on this path for me. And I'm now going to count myself among the things that I'm grateful for. It feels like that there were people possibly that were clouding your mind, giving you attention, like I said, hooking their wagon to you. Maybe you were having success and therefore they felt like they were successful because they knew you, or they could brag about you to their friends, or brag about something you did for them as though it was their own. It feels like it was sort of a false sense of self is what it was, but I don't think you're there anymore. I feel like you realize now that they were all lies, that people were just blowing smoke. The Wheel of Fortune tells me that's about to change. You're about to have some sort of a breakthrough about who's been lying to you, who's really truthful and honest, and who really is not. Tell me about the Seven of Wands. We've got the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Cups. Yeah, being way more strategic with my energy is what it says here. The Knight of Cups is here. You can see the Knight of Cups is playing chess, right? A very smart, strategic mind. The Four of Pentacles is about holding back and being miserly. I'm going to completely and totally hold back from people. I'm going to be more strategic with where I put my energy, where I give my stability, where I give my material goods, who I give those with, who I share them with. And I feel like this is what's happening when you build these boundaries here, that you're now being a lot more careful. Once you come to this place where you do finally close the door and you realize that when the door is closed that people really aren't coming back to knock on the door, I feel like you start to feel sad or bad that maybe you just don't have a lot of people around you. But I feel like I feel like you blame it on yourself, and I think that's something that you need to release. We have the Lovers, we have Justice, and we have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like you do have some sort of romantic interest coming in here. I could be speaking about a romantic situation, and maybe I just didn't know it, but it feels like for some of you, not all of you, of course, because it's a general reading, but it feels like you're going to get justice in the Lovers. So if you've given up a relationship or left a marriage or had a really terrible breakup, I feel like the universe is ready to pay you back like tenfold. Like it feels like with this Five of Pentacles that while you felt like you were on the outside looking in, what you don't know, what you don't realize is that once you close the door to the old chapter, or being, giving your time and energy to people who just don't have any gratitude for it, or who are maybe liars, lying to you, being deceitful. I feel like once you close that door and build your boundaries, that's when this new love comes in here. It might be a new love of self. It could be a new love of a creative thing, but it does feel like wherever you were detached, you will no longer be detached from that. And for some of you, it'll be romantic love, and some of you, it'll be love for self. We have Libra here. Things are coming into balance or being restored for you, and it's because of some time that you spent alone, really looking deeply at what you identify as lack. We've got the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. When I see two fives in a reading, they definitely are lack. But when I see two fives, it means quick change is coming. The expansion is on the way because you're taking ownership of whatever codependencies you created here with people who really weren't your friends. What are you letting go of here? Tell me about the Ten of Swords. I feel like you are releasing this place where you had yourself stuck in your mind. Oh, that's really beautiful. It's really lovely. I feel like you have somebody on your mind, Aquarius. It feels like there is somebody on your mind here that you have maybe some feelings for. The Two of Cups is here. The Ace of Swords is here as well. And so it tells me you've had some clarity about someone here. They could be a Virgo. Maybe they're a Gemini or a Libra, possibly. We do have Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo along with Sagittarius energy. Got a lot of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn here. It feels like you've had some sort of a realization about someone, but now that you've decluttered the mind, now that you've closed the door, now that you've released some things from the mind, you can now have clarity, you can see it. So it feels like you're going to take a shot at something after a period of healing, that you're going to take a shot at something here. What's the outcome? Tell me about the outcome. We've got the Hanged Man. We've got the King of Wands. You're about to pursue the Queen of Swords, possibly. You've had a new perspective on somebody who might identify as the Queen of Swords, someone who maybe is divorced, feminine or masculine, someone who really speaks truthfully, honestly, someone who is very assertive, not aggressive or passive, but someone who's in between, very assertive. This person is somebody who can be a tiny bit intimidating, but really not to a king, right? Kings and queens don't really have the ability to intimidate each other. They're confident within themselves. But I feel like you're ready to pursue somebody because you've got a different perspective on them. It feels like you've changed your mind about someone. Oh, the King of Swords is here. So it feels like we have the King and the Queen of Swords here. And the King and the Queen of Swords were made for each other, right? The King and the Queen of Swords, if you were to witness them from a distance in a restaurant, could be looking like they were very, like you might be going, ooh, ouch, did he really say that? Did she say that to him just now? Like, you know, the conversation is very honest and very truthful. So it can be a little bit harsh. Those truths and energies can be a little bit harsh, but these two people speak each other's language. They're both highly intelligent. They're both people who love truth and honesty. No gameplay here. And I feel like this is a person you're going to pursue because you see yourself as them. The Lovers is here, right? And this is your mirror. This is somebody that mirrors you, you mirror them. Whatever you give them, they give you back. So if what you are is authentic and truthful and honest, they're also the same as you. They are authentic and truthful and honest. We've got the Three of Wands. I feel like it's something here. It feels like you can't wait. The Three of Wands tells me you're sort of impatient to get back to the High Priestess here. The Eight of Pentacles tells me that you really want to work on some sort of maybe a romantic connection with this person. We do have the Death card. There has been transformation in love. Your heart space has transformed. Since walking away from something in the past, I feel like you took control of your life here, and what's transformed is your heart space. I feel like you're ready to give your heart possibly to the High Priestess, who is a spiritual teacher, someone who's maybe esoteric, maybe reads tarot, maybe is a psychic. This person could be any of these energies that I mentioned here. We do have Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We have Virgo energy. We have more air energy over here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Leo. We do have Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius as well. Sagittarius. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you, Aquarius, for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. It looks like some exciting information coming your way. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I always am, and I hope you will be too. Bye-bye.